Hey guys, today we are going to be doing a problem string titled Money Fractions. And so, what's cool about doing it on a video is that you're able to pause and go back as often as you need to. That way, you can figure things out and see if you have the problem correct, and it just helps out a bit better. So, today's problem string is called Money Fractions. We're going to be looking at fractions and seeing that money can be used to add and subtract fractions and make it easier for us. And we've been doing that in Number Corner this last month, so hopefully this is a bit of a review. So our first problem, 1/4 plus 1/10. We can look at this as a word problem. What is 1/4 of a dollar and 1/10 of a dollar? Now we see this sentence and we know that 1/4 of a dollar is 25 cents. And we see that 1/10 is 10 cents. So 10 cents of a dollar. And that helps us in our minds see it as money and not necessarily as a fraction that is complicated. So we know that 25 cents plus 10 cents equals 35 cents. And we see it in the dollar as well. 25 cents plus 10 cents equals 35 cents. And then we can also look at it as a fraction over pennies. Because there's 100 pennies in a dollar. So we know that 25 100ths plus 10 100ths equals 35 100ths. Don't worry about writing down the charts to the right. Those are simply for reference that you already have in your notes section of your spiral. So 35 hundredths, can we reduce that? Is there a common factor that will allow us to reduce it to make it an easier fraction to work with? And actually, yes, there is. So we know that the common factor between 35 and 100 is 5. And whenever we divide 5, whenever we try and reduce a fraction, we're always dividing by 1. So we know that 5 over 5 is still 1. And that allows us to reduce it. So when we divide 5 over 5, we get 7/20ths. Let's move on. So pause if you need to take time to write this down, but we're going to keep going. Let's move on to the next problem in our problem string. 1/5 plus 1/2. And we can see that in word sentence form. What is 1/5 of a dollar and 1/2 of a dollar? Well, we know 1/5 of a dollar is 20 cents because 2 dimes, and then 1/2 of a dollar is simply a 50-cent piece. So let's annotate the sentence. 1/5 of a dollar is simply 20 cents. Next, we see the word and that is showing that this is going to be an addition problem. And then we have the word 1/2 of a dollar, and that's 50 cents. We know that from our table to the right. So looking in terms of cents, what would this equation be? The equation is going to be 20 cents plus 50 cents equals 70 cents. And then in dollar form, we're just changing the symbol. It's going to be 20 cents plus 50 cents equals 70 cents. And then if we were to look at it in fraction form, where the 100 is going to be pennies, it's going to be 20 100ths plus 50 100ths. And all we're saying is that 20 cents plus 50 cents equals 70 cents. That's all we're saying. We're just saying that also it's over 100 because that's the total amount of pennies in a dollar. Next, let's take a look at it in terms of dimes. So we know there's 10 dimes in a dollar. And so what is 2/10 plus 5/10? And we know the answer to be 7/10. And that's 7 dimes over 10 dimes in a dollar. So next we're going to look at the equation in terms of nickels. So if there's 20 nickels in a dollar, we know that that is going to be our denominator. So it converts to 4 nickels over 20 plus 10 nickels over 20, because we know 20 again is 20 nickels in $1. 4/20 plus 10/20 equals 14/20. And that'll be in terms of nickels. And so we're going to move on to our final problem of the problem string. And this problem is 9/10 plus 1/2. Now pause here real quick, and I want you to write out the sentence that you think goes with this equation in terms of money. And this will help you. This is going to help you think in terms of money instead of using the fractions that can be so ugly at times. So I will provide you a few seconds to pause the video and write out your own equation. All right, let's take a look at what the sentence is going to be. What is 9/10 of a dollar plus 1/2 of a dollar? Now we know since the sentence starts with 9/10, it is tenths, so we are going to be working with dimes in this case. And then 1/2 we already know is the 50-cent piece. And so we're going to write that out. And I want you to write that out in terms of cents, dollars, pennies, dimes, and nickels in the fraction format. And so if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. And then as a class, we're going to go over this answer together.